I'm talking to Graham and Darren, and they are co-founders of ExactET, which is a climate-controlled irrigation. Now, gentlemen, what exactly is that?
Mark, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's irrigation that is controlled by the climatic conditions. So as it gets hotter and drier and cooler, then you irrigate more. As it gets cooler, overcast and rain, you irrigate less. Rather than what is happening out there in the world now is that it's timer-based and it comes on based on time of day, day of week.
Now, this is a technology you're speaking of?
It's a technology, but it's a complete service there. It's complete service there. So the weather stations is just one element of it. It's also the programming of the irrigation so that it's very site-specific, because every site is different. We deal mainly with commercial properties, industrial properties, institutional properties, multifamily residential, and every site's different. So there's a lot of programming that comes into it, but it's usually at the back of it all is the weather conditions, local weather conditions.
Okay, Darren, how exactly does this work?
More specifically, you design or you take that irrigation system, figure out how it's applying water, and make sure you only apply water to fill the soil profile without runoff and waste. And the weather information is received every hour from our weather network, and that system then only operates when it needs to. So it's basically taking the waste out of irrigation and not watering when it's not required.
And the waste is enormous. It's anywhere up to 80% is wasted there, and it's so easy to fix. That's what we're doing, is taking that waste out.
And how long have you been doing this?
Well, we've been doing it for 5 years. It seems longer than that, but we've been doing it for 5 years, and we hit a milestone. Just last year, we've saved over 1 billion litres of water for our clients. Last year alone, we saved 312 million litres of water, and essentially in dollar terms, that means our clients have saved over 500,000, $500,000 worth on their water bills.
Okay,
give me a typical user testimonial.
Example is a really good one. Is we had an IKEA property in Calgary Market. We put the system in at the end of July in 2010. By the end of October 2010, they'd saved almost 10 million litres of water and roughly $10,000 in water costs.
That's a lot.
And the great thing is, they paid for it all in less than a year.
So who came up with this idea?
It was originated by a manufacturer who actually builds weather stations for Environment Canada, Campbell Scientific specifically. They created the technology, but it takes a lot of processes and a lot of implementation and weather stations, and that's where we got involved, and we're building that network in Canada.
So it's a complete service. It's not just one tool. There's a number of elements to it. There's the weather stations that come in. There's the controllers. It's all done wirelessly. There are the controllers, and then there is the element of programming it and making sure that it's programmed correctly. And all of those things come together to then deliver the savings, as well as to deliver quality grass, landscape, to the health of the landscape.
I noticed you were speaking here at the conference. What was your main message you wanted to get out to people that are not familiar with you?
The main message was that there is a very cost-effective way to manage water and to reduce the amount of water loss through irrigation, the waste in irrigation. And it's very simple. It's cost-effective. Rather than getting into heavy-duty, very costly technology and that, or ripping out irrigation or landscape altogether, you can save significant amounts of water just by doing some very simple things and using climate-controlled irrigation.
Now, what's the installation cycle?
The installations usually take a good day to go through a larger site. We go through and analyze the soil, how much moisture that soil will hold, how deep is the soil, the type of irrigation, and how it's applying water to the landscape. So we're actually just putting enough water down to fill the soil profile without waste. So it takes about a good day on an average large commercial property.
But one really important thing to add to it is not just, okay, we've installed it, then we walk away. No, we're back a week later, we're back a month later, we're monitoring things, we're making sure that the savings are being delivered to the client, but at the same time, the health of the landscape is being looked after. So it's an ongoing process, it doesn't end there. And as we get the grass more efficient, we get it to grow, get the roots down deeper, we're adjusting the system as we're going along. So it's a full service to the client then.
Okay, I kind of noticed your accent, but where are you based?
We're based in Calgary. I'm originally from Australia though, but we're based in Calgary.
Okay. For more information, your website would be?
www.exactet.ca.
Thank you so much for the exact answer. It's exactly what I wanted to hear. So now I can know a lot more about being more efficient in saving water in a multitudes of applications, commercial, residential. What about farming, agricultural?
We haven't got into that as yet because we've been so busy on doing the urban landscapes because there's so much waste out there in the urban landscapes, and but that's an obvious fit is the agricultural side. We started with 3 weather stations in Calgary. We've now got 40 from Vancouver to Montreal, so we've been pretty busy keeping up with the urban side. But yeah, that's another thing that we could exactly look after is the agricultural side, and we'd love to get into that side as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks, Mark.